Welcome everybody to our webinar today. I'm very glad that you were able to join us this morning. Some of you already know me, and for those of you who don't, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jacinta Mandiam. I'm the co-founder and CMO of Pivot Cloud Solutions. Pivot Cloud Solutions is an innovative technology company, and we specialize in providing platform as a service AI technology to help businesses modernize in a rapidly changing technology world. So the title of our presentation today is Insourcing, and we're going to look at a new way to address the skills shortage in business today. In a recent study carried out by Korn Ferry, a US company, they did a sweeping country-by-country analysis of the biggest issues that are facing business today. And it may come as a surprise to most of you that robots and AI technology isn't the issue about that they might be taking over all our jobs, but the actual issue is that there aren't enough humans to actually take on the robots and apply them to business. In fact, they've estimated that by 2030, there will be a global human talent shortage of more than 85 million people. And this will result in at least an $8.5 trillion in unrealized annual revenues. And that should come as a surprise to you, because the almost like current accepted wisdom is that there are going to be millions of people out of jobs, when in actual fact, it looks like it's actually going to be the other way around. There won't be enough people to take on the new roles that are coming and the changes that are coming in the business world. So let's have a look at the current impact of the skills shortages in business. In a recent PwC Global CEO survey, almost 80% of banking CEOs, for example, who responded in the survey said that the talent shortages is a main threat to their growth prospects. So that kind of fits in with other leading consultancy surveys that have been carried out. And most businesses feel that the skills gap is actually undermining their organization's ability to innovate effectively and to provide winning customer experiences. So let's have a look at the current impact of those skills shortages now. So in terms of technology and business intelligence, technology is one of the key drivers of change in our economy. And globally, and especially since COVID-19 and the changes that businesses have been forced to take on in order to adapt, ICT is in the midst of a growth and innovation phase, which is impacting businesses. And this includes IoT, big data analytics, AI. But in the midst of this, 30% of Irish organizations are experiencing a skills shortage. 63% of UK organizations are experiencing a skills shortage, and 40% of EU businesses are in the same situation. And the main areas that they're experiencing those shortages in is in ICT, like ICT specialist managers, project and program managers, business analysts, architects, system designers, web and development professionals. But they're also experiencing lack in business intelligence. Insurance underwriters, there's a huge dearth of insurance underwriters, finance and investment analysts and advisors, business and financial project management professionals. So the EU has been currently doing surveys and analysis of the skills shortages and how it's actually affecting the 28 EU member states. And the example I'm going to look at is the shortages that they are seeing in the public sector, which are currently in the public sector. And they are currently saying that there's a shortage of 8.6 million people with the necessary skills, and they broke it down into 3 separate areas. And they're saying that there's currently 1.7 million skills shortages in the technical skills. There are also what they call 3.2 million people in the digital citizenship skills. And I'll just explain what they mean by digital citizenship skills. This is basic digital literacy, being able to interact with social media, understanding concepts like security awareness online. And interestingly enough, they're also saying that there's a skills gap in classical skills, what they're terming as classical skills. And this is referring to presentation skills, problem solving, collaboration skills, being able to adapt to new technology, and business creativity. So if you just look at complex data analysis alone, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom will each require something in the region of 100,000 additionally skilled employees in the public sector by 2023. So, what are the traditional ways to close this skills gap? Well, they fall into the categories of recruiting. So that kind of adopting new ways to recruit people into your business that will try to match the skills that you currently require. You can also upskill, which means providing regular training in-house or outsourcing that training to your existing people in employment in your company so that they keep up to date with the ever-changing complexity of technology and skills that your business needs. And reskilling is also included, which means that those people who are in danger of losing their jobs out to RPA or digitization can actually be retrained. So we're looking at it in a different way, and we've come up with a different solution. And we've called it insourcing. And in very simple terms, insourcing means that we're applying a holistic approach to the skills shortage, which means combining the right technology with the right people and the right strategy. Now, the first part of that does actually involve using your existing teams. So you let the technology, AI in particular, do the complex technical work for you. For instance, you could let AI do the compliance, and your teams then can focus on sharing their business knowledge. So you might say, like, why is that different? Well, a key element of that is that you use the right people, but you also have the right technology. And digital transformation is a key phrase that's been used at the moment as we transition from a very level playing technology field into an ever increasingly complex AI-driven machine learning technology era. And for example, one of the key areas of this right technology is being able to use tools that, I'm using here the image of Batman. So you can actually use platform as a super tool. And any of you who are interested in Marvel and DC Comics will be very much aware that Batman does not have superpowers. Batman is a normal human being, but he uses technology to actually give himself super skills. For instance, coding has been one of the areas that have prevented people from just translating something in their mind into the reality of their business. With something like Pivot Cloud Solutions platform, you do not have to be a developer in order to introduce new functionality into your business. The platform enables most of the complexity and performs it for you. And it gives you the tools that you need to actually introduce functionality that you want to see, say either in your online screens or reports that you want to produce. You do not need to be an expert. And this is the era in which we're where the world is actually heading, the world of business is heading. And Pivot Cloud Solutions is a bit ahead of the curve. So you can have tools that help marketers become super marketers. You can have tools that help insurers become super insurers. And you can have tools that help business analysts design what their customers, internal and external, want, because they're no longer being held back by technology. So I'd like to give you an example. If you take the instance of legacy systems, Pivot Cloud Solutions platform has been specially trained for business, so it can actually learn your specific system's functionality, and while you actually use your system as normal. When our system is actually finished learning your system, you can then black box it. So you don't have to, if you have an old system that's coded in COBOL, you don't have to code anymore in COBOL. You can actually, by using our platform, easily develop new functionality on top of it. Another example would be regulatory compliance. Example, claims underwriting. The complex process of claims underwriting, which determines successful or unsuccessful claims, they are easily assimilated by Pivot Cloud Solutions platform, which has the capability to act as your personal underwriter for the claims officer. So that's to give you some understanding of what insourcing actually means. But let's look at it in a bit more detail by looking at what's the current business situation. If you look at your average business, it's characterized by fragmentation of knowledge. You have different departments. They know different key elements of the business. You could have HR, you can have sales and marketing, you can have finance, you can have technology, and you can have old technology, you can have new technology, you can have different hardware, you can have different software, different languages, and they're all operating at the same time. So a key element of what I'm trying to communicate here is that the current situation has huge knowledge gaps. You have undocumented dependencies between different systems. You have obsolescence or near obsolescence of very old systems, all operating with the latest online technology and different levels of skill and understanding of the business. So if we actually look and apply that to, if you have AI, trained AI that's been introduced to your business, it can take a holistic view of your business and can capture the essence of your business, put it into a modern format, and give you additional tools that enable you to respond quicker and easier to introduce new functionality to what your customers require. So let's have a look again at upskilling, which is one of the other key components of insourcing. What are the benefits of upskilling? Upskilling lowers the cost of job placement because you're using your existing staff as much as possible, as well as outsourcing where necessary, where you actually have to recruit from outside for new replacement employees. But upskilling enables you to control your talent pipeline and, crucially, to retain experience. And to give you an example, Amazon is currently allocating $700 million to train 100,000 of their employees, so they are more prepared for the digital transformation of Amazon. And this initiative will involve employees at all levels of the company and all experience levels. Why? Because Amazon believes that the benefits far outweigh and go beyond upgrading current employee skill sets. They believe that it will improve morale as employees see increasing opportunities for them within the business, and they won't be obsolete themselves with new technology that's being introduced. And it's also a powerful kind of recruitment and retention tool. So if you look at insourcing from an overall perspective, insourcing is a holistic, integrated approach to business for the future. And Pivot Scale Solutions are looking at the way technology is going. Technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning is going to be at the core of businesses in the future. And those businesses that are making the transition need to have software at the core of their business. Their teams are an integral part of the insourcing, as well as the software as a service or platform as a service. And the platform does the complex technology aspect of things. And the teams, they're no longer operating in isolation, but they have a much more holistic view of the business. They have experience in different areas, and they come together in small, agile teams, and they share information, expertise. Also, you have information coming from the customers, and this has been orchestrated by AI, providing the teams with information. The customers are directly linked with the business and via AI analytics or via social media or apps. And there's a constant flow of information, and the business can respond much more rapidly to what the customers actually want and the customers actually need. And the teams can become much more creative because they can actually don't have to go through so many different hoops or departments in order to have their ideas and their input heard and executed. And it's very interesting to actually look at. Accenture carried out surveys of the C-suite throughout Ireland and Europe. And in particular, in Ireland, 66% of Irish executives acknowledge collaboration between humans and machines will be critical to innovation in the future. And you can put in there, as it is critical to innovation, innovation is critical to the survival of business into the future. And I think that should actually give you an overview of what the current situation is, how skill shortages are being projected into the future, and the different current approaches and our insourcing approach to addressing the skills shortage, what it is and what it actually means into the future. So I have a couple of questions here, and I'll just very briefly just go through those because I realize that everybody is short on time. And the first question that I have is, well, why is your software actually different to just getting some digital analyst in, data scientists, AI specialists into our company? Well, if you actually think back, or if you know anything about the history of computer science, you realize that when businesses start adopting computers in their businesses, in order to produce a report, you had to be a programmer in order to actually make that happen. Nowadays, if you want to produce a report, you simply go into an app, you run Excel spreadsheet, and you print off your data. You're not interested in the operating system. You're not interested in how it works. You know that you want particular information and you want it in a particular format. You just go in and you do it. So it's much the same with AI, machine learning, and all the new analytics and automation technology that's out here and available at the moment. The difference in our platform as a service is that we are looking to the future, and we've created a pre-trained software platform designed specifically for business, and also to simplify where possible and to help your teams focus on being creative so they can introduce new functionality simply and to be able to respond to customers' needs. I have another question here. How will recruitment change as a result of skills shortage? Well, in the transition phase, there will be more focus on openness to change as a requirement, skill, or attitude, because the technology is changing so fast and businesses are changing so fast. It's very difficult to actually specify exactly either what the skills are that you require today, and will they be the same skills that are required tomorrow. And also, it's very hard to actually get all the particular combination of skills that you are looking for in order to fulfill a particular role. So yes, second level, third level institutions will be focusing more and more on skill sets that will be required. And governments and education authorities and education providers and businesses will be working more closely together. But also there will be an increasing focus on apprenticeships, and this will require learning directly from more experienced people within the businesses, because currently skills are being lost. Ageism is also an issue, would you believe, in some businesses. And information has been lost. So when people leave companies, either due to retirement or they've moved to another role in a different company, a lot of the information can be lost and the expertise is lost. So we see this as a win-win situation for everyone. So we've actually come to the end of our presentation. I hope that you found it useful and that it's provided you with lots of ideas about how you and your business can move forward. Just to remind you that there will be a recording of this presentation, and it'll be available within a couple of days. Please feel free to contact me either via email or on LinkedIn with any other questions that you may have. And again, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.